Yeah, Maguire not in the derby, neither is Stones probably. Injured again in a meaningless international friendly. That's from Johnny. That's bad. I mean, John Stones, that is
injury.
That is a defender that I want to see at the World Cup. There's enough time for him to recover, of course, depending on what's going on. But for City fans, they're going to be really disappointed about that. Scott said it's not tricky. Southgate purely to blame by picking a player who hasn't played all season for his club, talking about Maguire here.
Yeah.
And there are defenders playing week in, week out who are better. Maguire's the rock that he's going to perish on. The whole Maguire story is a non-story, simple. Varane and Martinez are better, hence why he's on the bench. That's it. I can't understand how such a bang average player creates so many headlines. I don't think it's as simple as that, Scott. I think the thing is that he, in Gareth Southgate's mind, hasn't put a foot wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, he's going to back him to the hill, and that's the situation that we find ourselves in. That's why we end up seeing all of these headlines about him. Ali, if you were Gareth Southgate, was it time to drop him before these games so you could bring someone in and have a look?
Yeah, I think so. I think the last, as I mentioned earlier, particularly in the Nations League, I think it was a chance for Gareth Southgate, whether it's to play Tomori, Cody, Tammy Abraham, Ivan Toney. I just think it's a good opportunity to give these guys a run out and have a look at them.
Yeah.
I've said it for a while. I do, and I think the way things were going last night, there's a little bit of pressure on England last night because of the run they were on to get something from the game, which effectively there shouldn't have been.
Which took away his freedom to rotate, you think?
Yes,
Sam's
I do.
Sam's in and now. Hello, Sam. How you doing?
Yeah, morning. Just going through the papers today, a lot of journalists are actually writing about somebody that didn't even make the 23-man squad, and that's Trent Alexander-Arnold. And a lot of journalists unhappy and surprised to see him being left out. Henry Winter's headline in The Times is Southgate's handling of Trent is cruel and baffling. He says, of course, it's not personal by Southgate, but it doesn't half feel it. For a manager who generates such warmth within the squad, this cold shouldering seems almost cruel, let alone odds. Andy Dunn says, if Trent can't make it into a squad of 23, England must be very, very, very good. His back line may be wobbling, but Southgate shows great loyalty towards Maguire. Yeah, has never been an advocate of Alexander-Arnold from day one, and that is a terrible shame. Dom King also, he says this in the Mail this morning: what we saw yesterday was one of the most remarkable decisions around an England team in Southgate's 6-year reign, the kind of action you usually associate with a big name player who is reaching the end of the road, being phased out. If Southgate had no intention of playing Trent, why pick him in the first place? Ali, there are a lot of journalists, a lot of newspapers, very, very strong, saying, why is Trent not in the squad of 23? Do you agree with them?
Yes, I do. Because you think if he's not going to check in the squad of 23, dear me, and I don't know what you think yourself, guys. I do think he's England's best attacking fullback.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, with bearing that in mind, whether you play him or not against a team that's going to attack you more is up for debate. But should he be in the squad? For me, yes, he should be.
I think he should be as well, and I think you're risking damaging a relationship with a talent who is still incredibly young and has an incredibly bright future together. And if you can't, I just find that situation really odd to get my head around, because I find the blind loyalty in players like Harry Maguire, and we have to judge them. We have to judge them on their performances. And last night, he made some costly errors, and in the Premier League, he's not being played. Mm-hmm. So for England, he comes in and pulls a shirt on. It's not the place to regain your confidence in international football when you're about to go into a World Cup. You've got to be there already. We don't have another chance now. Trent Alexander-Arnold, I understand that he's had a couple of difficulties as well, but to not even have him in the squad last night, and to completely shun him out. And also Ivan Toney. Look, I sound like I'm being really negative this morning, and I am. But there are loads of positives to take from last night's performance, and I get that, coming back from 2-0 down, etc., etc. But looking at it as a whole, You're bringing Ivan Toney into the situation. You put him in front of the media, so he has loads of interviews and he tells everyone how excited he is about playing and this opportunity, and everyone gets stuck into him, and he's on the back of all the papers, and that's great. And then he doesn't even get a look in. What's the point? What's the point of even having him near that squad? And then he goes back to Brentford, and what's his head going to be like there? You're picking up a player who's in great form and full of confidence. I just think that there's been a weird bit of tinkering, and I don't understand it really. Great, no one's listening to me. Thanks.
No, I'm listening to every word. I thought Sam was coming back in there. I apologise. No, it's very difficult to argue, Laura, with anything you've said. But just to go back and look at the whole situation, what surprised me, and I said it yesterday, where I think Gareth leaves himself open to criticism is not giving these players that we've spoken about an opportunity. Because you're now going to the World Cup, effectively. That's your next game. Your next game is Iran in the World Cup. Now, would you be confident starting it, say Harry Maguire gets an injury, for example, would you be confident starting it with Tomori or Guehi? I mean, I think this is the problem. You'd be more confident starting them with that Harry Maguire.
Yeah, but I would have liked to see them.
Of course you would.
Settle as much together as.
Of course you would.
Give them all opportunities, basically, to play as a team before.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm not sure whether there's an element of, if they play well, he gives himself a real problem. I don't know. I can't understand why you wouldn't give them an opportunity. That's what I said to you yesterday, and I still can't understand it, Laura.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Laura Woods, Monday to Wednesday mornings 6 till 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.